It's Lee here today, and yes, you guys, first off, I haven't seen my face, my beautiful face, in quite some time, and you're probably wondering, where the heck was I for the past, 7 weeks or so? And there's a long explanation that I could talk for, probably 3 minutes about, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to bore you guys with it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I was busy, had some things going on, lots of work to do, and I just, I didn't see any movies that wowed me. I didn't really have a lot of inspiration for making reviews, so I just kind of stopped doing it for a while. But now I am back, and this is a new thing that I'm doing. Instead of doing just movie reviews, basically every Sunday I will have a movie news show. Each episode for this show will be about 10 minutes long, and we'll be talking about quite a few different subjects. I will be discussing new releases coming out the following week. I will also give you guys my own movie reviews of movies that I saw in theaters the past week before I made the video. I'll also talk about new releases on DVD, which is really cool. I will give you guys an instant watch Netflix recommendation, which I think will be very cool. A movie that you can stream on Netflix instantly. I'll recommend one of those. We'll be talking about box office, big movie announcements, trailers, everything that has to do with movies, and sometimes there might be some TV mixed here and there inside there. And also, once this show hopefully gets popular enough, you guys can start asking your own questions. I'll have a segment towards the end of the show where I'll answer you guys' questions, which will be really cool. So I'm pretty excited about this show. So the main purpose of the show today is basically me just catching you guys up on movies that I did see in the time that I was absent. I did still go to the movies. I didn't just stop watching movies. I just didn't see anything terribly amazing that really got me inspired to make a movie review. But let's talk about the movies I did see. The first one I saw was White House Down, and despite Jamie Foxx and Channing Tatum trying their very best with a good chemistry, it's just a very generic action movie with surprisingly bad special effects and pretty okay action scenes, and just not a very good movie with some really laughable dialogue and pretty cliched story and plot. I do not recommend seeing White House Down. I'd give this movie a 4 out of 10. The next movie I saw was Grown Ups 2, and this is not a movie that I planned on seeing at all because I hated the first Grown Ups movie. I give that movie a 2 out of 10, but I went to this movie because one of my friends wanted to see it for his birthday, and since I'm a nice person, I went and saw it, and I absolutely hated this movie as well. It was actually worse than the first Grown Ups movie. I would give this movie a 1 out of 10. The next movie I saw was The Wolverine, and I was pretty excited for this movie. I didn't see it opening weekend, I actually saw it the following Tuesday, so I wasn't super hyped up for this film. I gotta say, a lot better than X-Men Origins Wolverine. Was it a great movie? No, but it was fun. It had some cool action sequences. Hugh Jackman's great as always. The setting in Japan is really cool. It was a good movie overall. James Mangold did a great job directing it. I have a cool story about Mangold, which I'll tell you after I review all these movies, which is really cool. I'll give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. Definitely appreciate the different direction he took. Next movie I saw was one of my most anticipated movies of the summer, Elysium, and I really wish I could just sit here and tell you guys how great it was and how it was even better than District 9, but I can't because this is actually a bad movie. Elysium, besides a good performance from Matt Damon and amazing visual effects, it just has terrible acting. Jodie Foster is awful, Sharlto Copley's not good. Really just a preachy, stupid story. It's like they bring in healthcare and all that crap into the movie. Really just wish that wasn't there. And just not that great of action scenes. The action scenes are very generic and cliched. Elysium, biggest disappointment of the summer. I give this movie a 5 out of 10. The final movie I saw was The World's End, and this is definitely one of the saving movies of the summer. It came out late August. Usually the movies around late August are not that good, but this is a great film. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and Edgar Wright work so well together like they have in the past. Just a fantastic movie, so funny, so hilarious. Just definitely go check this movie out. I give it a 9 out of 10, one of my favorite films of the year so far. Alright, there's my roundup of movie reviews. That was quite a few movies for you guys. Now, do know that my movie reviews won't be 30 seconds long. I just make them really short for this video because I had a lot to go over. But, if I see one movie in the week, I'll do a 1 to 2 minute review on it. So you guys don't have to sit through a tiny movie. It would be a little bit longer than that. Now let me tell my story about James Mangold. Basically, after I saw The Wolverine, I tweeted, please go follow me on Twitter, there'll be a link to that down in the description, but I tweeted about The Wolverine saying how I appreciated that The Wolverine took different directions with the movie, and I tweeted at James Mangold, and James Mangold, the director of the film, favorited my tweet. That just made my day. Such an awesome guy, really classy. Go follow him on Twitter as well. So that was just such a cool thing for it to happen. It just made me feel really good. It was pretty freaking awesome. So James Mangold, you're a sweet dude. Definitely go check out my Twitter page and check out James Mangold's Twitter page because he's freaking awesome. Alright, let's get into the big movie news. Now, I'm not going to talk about Ben Affleck as Batman. I think you guys have heard the story so many times now that I don't think you really want to hear about it again. I missed that story. I didn't make an episode last week. This is my first episode. So Ben Affleck as Batman, that story, it's happened, whatever. If you guys really want my opinion, just tell me in the comments below and maybe I'll make a video about it. But I don't think you guys want to hear about it anymore. I will, however, talk about a couple of major casting news. The first one is James Spader has been cast to play Ultron in Avengers 2 Age of Ultron. So Ultron is the main villain of that movie. He's an artificial intelligence thing, so I'm assuming James Spader is just doing the voice, maybe motion capture for the character. This is not really that great of news because James Spader's not really a name. I know I've heard that name before, like I recognize his name, but then look up his filmography and I've seen him like in small little parts and kind of heard of him from like random TV shows, but he's not really a big recognizable name. But I did look up some of his filmography and he definitely has a very recognizable voice. I think his voice will fit the character of Ultron pretty well, so I think it's good casting. It's just I kind of wish there was something a little bit more exciting. But yeah, so that's the news for you guys if you really care. James Spader is now Ultron in Avengers 2. Bradley Cooper will be voicing and doing the motion capture for, I believe, Rocket Raccoon in Guardians of the Galaxy. This news, it's kind of cool again. I kind of wish Bradley Cooper got a little bit of a bigger role in Guardians of the Galaxy or a Marvel film. Kind of lame that he's just going to be the motion capture for a little rodent dude. But, I mean, it's exciting to see a recognizable voice in the movie, so that's pretty cool. So, yeah, Bradley Cooper is Rocket Raccoon. And finally, Matt Damon has joined the cast of Interstellar. And yes, that's awesome. I love that Matt Damon's in this movie. Apparently, he's going to have a smaller role than most of the characters, but it's still exciting because obviously, if you know anything about Christopher Nolan, this is a Christopher Nolan movie. It has Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain, Michael Caine, of course. Bunch of random people are in the movie. It's exciting because that means we'll probably see Matt Damon in some other Christopher Nolan movies because he really likes to recycle his actors. So yeah, Matt Damon is going to be in Interstellar. Not too many big trailers came out this week, but I'm going to talk about two. The first one is the trailer for Divergent, I think is what it's called. I'll leave a link to the trailer in the description. Not really too excited about this one. It has Shailene Woodley and what's-her-face, the girl from Titanic. Why cannot Kate Winslet? I don't know why I couldn't remember her name for a second there, but yeah, I mean, it looks like another one of these like Twilight, Hunger Games kind of movies. I mean, it doesn't look that bad, and I'll probably see it just because it looks like it's going to be a big, budget kind of movie. It's coming out next March, so I mean, not really too overly excited, but Shailene Woodley's cute, so that's something. The other trailer I'm going to talk about is the trailer for Dallas Buyers Club. This has Matthew McConaughey in it and Jennifer Garner. Yeah, not Lopez. The other Jennifer that Ben Affleck dated / married. Yeah, this movie, it's about Matthew McConaughey. He plays like a homophobic dude from like the 80s, and then he gets AIDS himself and has, a transformation and stuff. And also has Jared Leto, who is playing like a cross-dresser kind of person. It looks interesting. Will I be seeing it? Probably not in theaters, but unless it gets such good buzz. It kind of looks like Matthew McConaughey is going for an Oscar performance here. It's definitely an Oscar bait kind of movie. Looks interesting, so I'd check out that trailer too. Alright, let's talk about the box office now for this weekend. Now, these are estimated numbers, so they could change. It doesn't look like anything's really going to change that drastically this weekend. Let's talk about the new releases. Closed Circuit debuted in 15th place with only $2.5 million. That is pretty terrible, so that's definitely a failure of a film. Then Getaway, the movie with Ethan Hawke and Selena Gomez. I didn't see either of these movies. That only debuted in 9th place with $4.5 million, so again, not a very good opening for that movie, but that movie only cost $18 million to make, so it's not going to be a total failure if it does okay overseas. And then also, number one movie this week was One Direction, This Is Us. Of course, I'm not going to see this movie ever, probably. It debuted with $17 million, so that's pretty solid. It only had a $10 million budget, so that's pretty good. In second place was Lee Daniels' The Butler, which I'll hopefully see soon. In its third weekend, it debuted didn't debut. It had $14.74 million, only down 10% from last weekend. Very good. The movie has about $75 million in the U.S. so far. It's more than double its budget so far. That's really good for that film. We're the Millers, which is a movie I kind of want to see, but I don't know if I'm ever going to get the chance to, had $12.6 million, only down 3.4%. Very low margin for it to be going down. And now that movie is up to about $110 million, which it only had a $37 million budget, so that movie is doing very good. Planes had $7.75 million. And that movie is up to about $70 million. It only cost $15 million to make, so it's another success for Disney. And then, yeah, that's about it. The rest of the box office is not too exciting. Most of the movies kind of dropped about 40%. The World's End, unfortunately, is not doing that great over here, but it only had a budget of $20 million, so not really too sad about that one. So that's the box office for this past weekend. Movies coming out on Friday, September 6th. The only one that's really worth mentioning is Riddick. It's the third movie in the trilogy of Pitch Black and Riddick Chronicles. I have never seen the other two Riddick movies, so I'm going to probably be skipping this one. Doesn't really look that great to me. Has Vin Diesel in it and Carl Urban and Katie Sackhoff, I believe. So, yeah, doesn't really look that great to me, but if you're interested, it's coming out this week. DVD releases for this week are pretty lackluster as well. The biggest one is Now You See Me, which I thought was honestly a pretty bad movie. I would definitely not recommend getting that one. I would just wait until that's on Netflix or something. Do not pay any money to see that film. And the only other DVD release that I want to mention is Sharknado on DVD. Sharknado is the best movie of all time, so I think you should check out that DVD. It's a fantastic film. Just like the acting and the directing is so great. Just such an original movie. Go check that. Check out Sharknado this week. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed episode 1 of the show. Please tell me what you thought in the comments down below. If you have any questions you want me to discuss next week, just leave them in the comments, and there'll also be links to all the stuff down there. So please like this video, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. This is Parham, signing off.